Hey guys, I just want to take the time today and then just show you something really cool that I actually just recently learned. I just want to stop by today and then just show you a little bit of some of the new things and new techniques and new hacks that actually you can create content using AI, but it more humanized. Now, if you think that content is boring, robotic, and spammy, that's because most people are doing it wrong. But I'm gonna show you, this is the process we used to take and the new process that we take, and then I'll walk you through the entire thing. Now one thing, the problem we have right now is that businesses are cracking down on content just to have something out there, but not planning, no intent, no human touch. And guess what? Google is ignoring it, and then on top of your clients too. So here's the new way. Okay, so I'm just gonna walk you through some of the things we used to do before. This is our process that we actually used to take when we used to create content. So the new way we write content using AI, we want to make sure the content has a user intent, it's readable, it has a human touch, and is optimized to rank. Those are the four things that we focus to. And so we started here, right? So what we do is we do content planning and we do topic research, of course, in this case using AI. Next thing we do, write an article, we optimize it, we use NLP and LSI keywords to rank, we scan for detection, scan for readability, we check for plagiarism, spelling and grammar, and then we publish. So I'm gonna walk you through very quickly through this, which is really interesting. First thing we do is create our cluster or create our topics, right? Based on the research and all the different things that we have. So we wanna make sure ChatGPT acts as an SEO content strategist with a lot of experience. What is his role is to research, compare, and suggest topics based on our target audience. And then here's different instructions here. We wanna make sure he find the search and the intent of the topic, make sure the keywords in the funnel in each of the stage, so make sure it is according to each of them. So in our case, we separate our content based on three different stages: top of the funnel, middle of the funnel, and bottom of the funnel. Once we do that, we of course optimize the blog title content. In this case, we actually use something interesting because there's Sumo has a link what is called key cascading, and we actually using that type of idea. So in this case, using AIDA, pass, and figure, and it has different things inside. Make sure it has a clear desire, a successful outcome, has an address the biggest frustration. They use emotional and descriptive power words, and then of course I give them some examples, right? Also, we want to make sure the headlines is reading for a fifth grader level, and then of course remove complexity, and then the content is one of these things over here. And then the last thing we have over here is what we want them to compare with this content. It doesn't actually exist already on the website, because if we already created content and it already exists, we're creating duplicated content time after time. Honestly, we don't want to compete between these contents. We just want to make sure we exposed the business more often than this. After that, we go to a strategy, right? So in this case, a strategic blog content table. So I want you to put it in a table, and this is all the different things that I'm providing. And then, what are the things that I want you to limit? Based on those things, it gives me the entire content in here, right? So here's the entire content. Okay, so now that we have the topics, what we're gonna do next is going to be write the content, right? So here's a real example. So once we have a content written, what we're going to do, I'll give you a real example of these ones over here. So in this case, we have this project for one of our clients, a dental office. So if you see this article right here, shows that we scan it and it shows that 98% is likely to be AI. But once we actually went through the entire process, actually humanized the content, it shows that it's 0%. And so that's subjective. So the idea is, okay, we're gonna write the content, but once we write it, we wanna humanize it. And once that is being completed, in that case, we'll go to the next step. All right, next steps is we wanna make sure the content is readable. So in this case, what we'll do is, if you notice, I'll have this content right here. This content is showed that is readable at 48%. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna copy the content that is being humanized, and we wanna see what is the improvement that is gonna happen. we want to make sure the content is at least between 65 to, of course, anything up from there. So if you go over here, copy the content, put it in there, and then let's see. All right, perfect. Our content is 68%. So it's in green. We want to make sure, apparently this one can be understood by 14 and 15-year-old, so which is perfect. We're going to implement some of the last side keywords, so I'm going to show you that next. Now that we wrote the content, right? Now we humanize it. We make sure it's readable. Now we just want to make sure do the last pass, which is in this case, it's LSI and NLP keywords that are integrated in the article. So, but now what we're going to do is we're going to repass it and make sure it has the score that we want it to be or above that is required. So I'm going to walk you through. So this is the article. So in this case, the article that we did is this one right here. So if you see when we wrote this article, it shows the required score was going to be 43% compared to our competitors. But in our case, our content is over 63%, which means we're above the competitors, right? So in this case though, what I'm going to do is I'm going to paste the entire content. All right. So next, what we're going to do is we want to make sure the content that we just humanize, it has a higher score than our competitors. In our case, we want to make sure, of course, this one can go as high as possible. I'm not going to go through the entire process here, but I just wanted to show you, just copy and paste the entire article. We went from pretty much 68, I think we had, or something like that, to actually 58. So really, everything that we're supposed to have in the article, it's almost there. So you just got to implement it a little bit more, and then we should be good to go. But here's entire different keywords that we actually have, and some of them they're missing. So in our case, we want to implement some of these keywords. And once we implement these keywords, we actually implement links inside of it as well, and then it's ready to go. Once this content is ready, we'll upload it into the website, publish it, and your content is ready to rank. Now, the last step that we will do is make sure your article, once it's published, you go to Google Search Console and then simply index your article. So that way you can start showing up in Google. But well, that's it. So I hope this help for those people that want to create more content and actually be more intentional and human as much as possible. All right, see you guys.